If you've never used AI before, or you've tried and felt completely lost, this channel is definitely for you. Not for the tech savvy, not for people already using AI every day, but for complete beginners. I'm Catherine. I run a business part-time while managing health challenges, and AI is the reason I can do that. Everything on this channel starts from zero, no jargon, no assumptions, no editing. Just real, honest, step-by-step learning. And here's my favourite bit. I use AI to teach myself AI. That's exactly what we'll be doing together. And if you're new here, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. So for my first video, it made sense to start with Google AI. And the reason being that Google is familiar to so many people. And we've been using Google for, I can't remember when I first got my own Gmail account, but we've been using email. And we only have to look at Google's ecosystem. When you're in your email already, if you're using email on the web, you already have to go to Google Apps and you can see just how much is in Google's ecosystem. So it made sense that I start with Google Gemini before doing introductions on things like Claude and ChatGPT. So Gemini is already built into your Google ecosystem, whatever you use in Google. As I say, lots of popular things we've been using. There are two different types of accounts with Gemini. We're going to be starting with the free account, but if you have a Google paid account, you can actually go straight to Google Gemini, again in Google Apps, and Gemini sits underneath the main area of favorites there. However, if I go back and you're using a free account, you won't find Gemini listed in here. So the best way, really more from Google, maybe you've already got a bookmark for Gemini, but more with Google, chat with Gemini. And there you can click on try it now, and that takes you straight into your Google Gemini interface. When you're trying out these tools for the first time, you will find that there'll be settings that pop up, there'll be things to accept or decline. For experimentation purposes, certainly when you're starting to use these tools for the first time and you're thinking about it for your business in the future, maybe just for trying, you maybe actually just want to click no thanks because you can activate history and memory and save chats later on. So we're going to click no thanks because at this point we're really trying out these tools to see, well, what are they all about? And again, we have things like manage activity and dismiss, and you can continually go back to these settings as these tools change and evolve. So I'll click dismiss for that just now, and this is the main interface for the free trial of Gemini. Well, it's not really a trial, you can use Gemini, but you will have limitations on how many messages and things you can send. So first of all, I'm in this new interface. Well, one of the things that I think it's definitely different to where it was a few years ago with all the AI models. Now we've got to the point where AI can really help you understand what it can do. The answers way back when I was asking, well, what can you do and what are you best for, and all the different questions that popped up in my head, it didn't really give that greater answer. So let's have a little go with this one live. So it says, hi Catherine, I'm ready to help you plan, study, bring ideas to life. And so let's start with, can you tell me more about the types of things you can do? Because you're thinking it from a small business solopreneur perspective, you might want to add, I am looking to use Gemini in my business. I'm going to put solopreneur because really it's so useful for those of us that really are small businesses or individuals. I'm a solopreneur and I would like to make the best use of the tools available. So we'll try that. Again, with my brain fog, I'm not the best at spelling, so I'm just going to leave that there. It's not going to pop up with anything different there. And we have different models here. We've got the Fast Thinking Pro. We'll go on to that in a moment, actually. I'm just going to keep it at fast and default. I'm not going to go into any of these tools in this video. We literally are starting from the very beginning. Okay, so you wouldn't get this a few years ago. This is definitely what it wouldn't come back with. So you're wearing every hat? Yes, we are. Gemini is designed to act as your force multiplier by automating the heavy lifting. And it's also given a little update this year that you have access to Gemini 3 Flash integrated. It talks about high impact business use cases. So it's giving you different ideas, research strategy, comparison tools for your workflow. So you've got Flash, Canvas, Notebook LM, and Gemini Gems. And again, these are things we can go into much later on in the video series. And a pro tip for solopreneurs: don't try to automate everything at once. I think that's really key for those of us running businesses with limited capacity, part-time, is pick one task that drains your energy most and let Gemini handle the first 80% of it. So that's really good to have oversight of. So have a go with that yourself. You might want to change a little bit about the initial prompt that I wrote. And then it's come up with, would you like me to help you draft a specific prompt to set up your first Gemini gem for your business? So we're not quite at that point just yet, but it's worth knowing now, certainly, that knowing how to prompt is not so much of an issue now. You can actually let Gemini and let the AI models help you prompt. You can fine tune them. You can ask the AI models and even say, this prompt's not that good, can you improve it? And it might ask you a few questions. So I'm going to put, not just now, I would like to find out. So really at this point, you're wanting to find out the costs incurred if I was to move on to the paid version of Gemini. So as you can see, you kind of have to think in your head what kind of things you want to ask just now. So moving to a paid version of Gemini usually follows one of two paths: individual subscriber or business user. I have, because I use Google Drive, and again, this is the really nice thing about the Google ecosystem, is that Gemini comes with a lot of other things like your Google Drive and email, whereas the other ones are completely separate. But this is very much integrated into tools you already use and which you might already be paying for, which is really good. You know, it's really cool to have that. Breaks it down for you. Talks about kind of many regions and free tiers, talks about the business plan and if you've got a custom domain, and even which one should you choose. And I think what's really nice now about the AI is the way they lay out the answers as well. You know, it's nicely kind of laid out. They've got the box there you can have a look at, and you can, if you've maybe chosen not to keep too many of your chats, you could do a screenshot of this. For any of you that know of extensions where you can actually screenshot a full page, and that's something I use almost daily, really. I would be taking maybe a full screenshot of this whole page and saving it. You have other things here as well. Export to docs, double check response. I've not seen that one, so I need to have a look at that myself. You've got the sources there as well. So for verification purposes, you can go and have a look at the sources. You can ask Gemini and AI, really any of them, to double check. Double check things is very, very useful. And particularly when you're looking at the sources, because I've noticed a few of these are third-party sources, and that's worth looking for as well. We've got one cloudeagle.ai. So actually, what I'm going to do, any other sources, so the Gmail there, that's PC Mag, that's Cloud Eagle. Okay, can you provide a source directly from Google so that I know this information is correct. Okay, so always worth doing, checking your sources, understanding, questioning, critical thinking, is this correct? So now, to provide you with the most reliable information, and that's the thing, I think, there's not enough of the kind of, well, reading through it properly, and second, where did the sources come from? Now it's given me the sources from Google. And I think that's global chat, GPTs, that's global, that's Lark. But it's given these links at the top. That's Google Gemini, Gemini.Google subscriptions, and that one's pricing. So some of the top two links are the most reliable. When you visit the visual Google links above, make sure you are signed into the specific Google account you intend to use for your business. So again, comes up with very good prompts. Google often shows localized pricing and introductory offers. So at this point, we don't want to, but I think also when it comes back with things like these questions and the one we had earlier, this one, again, it's worth saving these if these are things you want to go back to. This is something we'll probably want to use a bit later on, because we're not at the point of using a Gemini gem yet, nowhere near that. So don't want to, not just now, we're not there yet with that. Okay. So this year, what is different about what you can do compared to last year, 2025, for my business tasks? Let's see what it comes up with, this one. Something to think about, that one. There we go. Okay. So again, just thinking, right, okay, I'm just testing this tool, having a little play about. I want to see how it comes back with the information. I want to see the visualization of it. Do you like the way it's laid out? Is it clear enough for you? In 2026, the shift, moving AI as a chatbot to AI as an agent, absolutely, and that's the same with all of them, really. So we'll ask similar questions with the other models further on in future videos. Speed and intelligent, deep research. Research is very, very useful when you're a small business and solopreneur. In fact, all of the features are really useful. The video and audio and things tend to come in a little bit later on as you're getting used to just using, you get used to just chatting with AI. Those things will come later. Agentic workspace, so calendars and meetings take notes for me. Now I use Google email personal accounts and I use Zoho email in my business, but I do use Google Drive. I've got used to kind of jumping about with tools quite a bit just because I'm able to, and I've been in business for 12 years, and I never like to stick to one thing. I kind of jump around and look at different things. So summary, that's a nice table, and again you'll see here export to sheets. And again, you can do that with your free account, export that to sheets as well. Next, word prediction, thinking mode is the update. Summarizing 3 to 5 links, deep research in the 2026 update. So would you like me to demonstrate how deep research would look like? Now, there's another question I've just thought about that taps into the question it's created. And the question would be, what limitations for doing deep research do I have on a free account? So while you're playing about with these models, you've not invested yet into any particular one because you want to actually see which one you would like to go on to more. And it is, I think, all of them they've all got their different uses, but I think at the end of the day, I think only you can decide which one you would like to invest in. And they're generally all kind of $20 per month for the kind of standard. So, you wouldn't want to be paying 3 times 20 for, say, ChatGPT, $20 for Claude, and 20 for Gemini. So strict monthly cap report rather than a daily one. Okay. So free account, 5 reports total, up to 20 minutes research time, and it's got the context window, so it's how much in one conversation. Lower depth, Surface web. Yeah. So again, it still gives you plenty to play around with and plenty to get started with. Talks about processing speed. So free users may experience queuing, how to stretch your free reports, which is interesting. So that's really good. And again, very, very useful. It's already understanding that you're not on a paid account just yet, and would you like me to help you draft your first high value research prompt so you don't waste one of your 5 monthly reports? Now, that again is really, that's gold, because it's really helping you to test this out before you decide. So that's just a very basic introduction on just getting started with Gemini. We've given it a few questions. It's come back with information, but also more questions that then lead you, for me in my brain anyway, I find that these questions lead me to thinking about another 5 more questions. So I can certainly go down a bit of a rabbit hole with this, I must admit, because it just keeps my brain running about all the different things I can be asking. So have a go yourself. If you've followed along, keep going. If you've come to this point and it's come up with a similar question, again, you'll find variations and differences in how it responds and the way it writes. But hopefully it'll be quite similar. But if you got to this point, carry on and actually see what this does. But we'll look at this next time. So next time we're going to go a little bit deeper with one of the questions that Gemini replied with. And if you want to see that, hit subscribe and I will see you in the next one.